All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. I literally forgot what we called it, so I'm going to look it up and then I'm going to come back and reintroduce it later. But I'm Shauna Dorsey with the Aksarben Foundation. This is one of many series that we run to help educate people on different aspects of education, workforce, internships, all that good stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to Kimberly to introduce herself, and then we'll have Bo introduce himself and we'll go from there.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kimberly Ingram Beck. I'm a computer science teacher for Gretna Public Schools. And I am also a board member for the Computer Science Teachers Association Nebraska chapter. I'm hosting a podcast called CS4NE, Computer Science for Nebraska, where we help teachers learn more about the discipline and get them acquainted with other teachers as well. So I'm very excited for our guest today and the talk that we're going to have. So,
Thank you. Bo, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Bo Jones, founder and CEO of careerpathway.com. I come from a background of 25 years in the residential and commercial construction industry. So everything from big fancy houses all the way up to big multifamily apartment complexes. We're currently on our biggest project ever, which is a $110 million apartment complex. So we're doing a lot. It's good stuff.
That's exciting. And when you talk about careerpathway.com, I would love for you to, I know you will, but talk about how you got here, like why it was important in your business. But before we keep going, the name of this webinar is Future-Ready Nebraska, a series on tech workforce development. I have to be so formal. Tech workforce development and collaborative partnerships, just so that we all know what we're here for today. So thanks again for being a part of this conversation. The Q&A is live, so if you have questions, just pop them in there. This also will be posted on our YouTube channel, so you can follow it there and connect with us if you have any questions. But Bo, I will turn it over to you. Tell us about all the things.
Yeah, perfect. So to my point of being a residential and commercial contractor for 25 years, we've had a front row seat of the emerging workforce pipeline and lack thereof. And it's really put a strain on our business and everything that we're doing in terms of we need help internally at our team, our subcontractors, our suppliers need help. Everybody somehow is short on workforce. And it's to the point where we're passing up work because we simply don't have the capacity to take it on. So we'll do a little screen share here real quick and show you a little bit about what we're doing at Career Pathway. And so out of frustration, as some good ideas come about, this was exactly that we've come up with a solution that is an easier way for us as industry to spread the word of what we're doing, share our opportunities, and connect with the next generation of workforce or current workforce to get people coming into our industry and specifically to our business. So what we've identified is businesses and colleges across all industries somehow are struggling to recruit talent, and you hear about it all over the place. How many ZipRecruiter radio commercials have you heard, or Indeed, or LinkedIn? All the commercials recruit talent and hiring. We also dove into the education system, and the education system themselves is short-staffed, and the result of that is less teacher time with students and guiding them down their path to the next step to college or careers and the exploration tools. This is not a dig on the education system. It's just a simple as they don't have the capacity to do it, nor do they have the equipment required to share 20,000 plus unique career interests and career opportunities for these students to understand what's going on. So the result of that is students oftentimes are leaving high school and getting into college programs and are overwhelmed. They're misguided sometimes. They land in places maybe they shouldn't. And we see this in the 20 to 30-year-old age group that are underemployed, unemployed, or racking up student loan debt, dropping out of college courses. We're seeing a lot of misalignment in that age group specifically. And as it relates to the construction industry, that's my hotspot. I need 20 to 30-year-olds that are the ones that go out and work hard all day, every day. And we're just simply not getting them. The other thing that we identified that took no effort whatsoever is this generation of 20 to 30-year-olds. You have to reach them on their device. This is the TikTok generation, photos and videos. If you're not there, you're not going to get them. So what we've created is careerpathway.com. It's a an all-encompassing platform for discovering and connecting real-world education and career opportunities to the job seekers and the students that are seeking and searching for those opportunities. We basically do two things. We guide students and job seekers to education and career opportunities, and then we help colleges and businesses fill classrooms and open job positions. That's really all we do. We just happen to be the connector between all of those things. How we do that is kind of unique and pretty fun. Is we've set up a platform that functions a lot like a social media type of platform. So when engaging 20 to 30-year-olds, you have to be at their level. So this is the generation that grew up on TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. If they can't push one button and make things function and move to the next screen, you lose them pretty quick. So as it relates to some of the education tools that they're using, is they're kind of antiquated and it's a lot of reading and text format. What we've created is the photos and the videos of how they can connect to education and career opportunities. So what we're doing is we have 4 different user types. We have a student user, which is 13 to 18 years old. So think of this as a middle school to high school student in classroom activities that has a lot of privacy and safety settings on their profile so they can't get into trouble. But it's a resource that's been vetted out by the education system and is currently today in use in classrooms so that they can learn from us in industry as it relates to our careers. We have a professional profile, so think of this as 18 and older. This is going to be your college students. This is going to be working age professionals seeking other opportunities. This is kind of the hot spot that we're seeing right now. Is this is our #1 profile on the platform, is this professional age group. Educators, this is a fun one. This gives educators in classrooms a resource to not only showcase what we do as industry, but they can follow each one of their students and see very real time and the unique interests of each and every one of their students as it relates to their students going their own direction and exploring opportunities. So you think of a classroom of 30 students, all 30 of them are going to have different interests as it relates to a career. This gives the educator a resource to see every single one of those and how different they are. And then we get down to the organization. So this is your businesses and your colleges. This is the group that's desperate to attract talent. This is the True-Built Constructions of the world, and we'll get to this in a minute, but these are the ones trying to fill classrooms and job opportunities. So how it works, five basic functions down at the bottom. We have a feed, discover, inbox apply, and profile. That functions our entire platform. Most of the time, people are starting on the discover mode. We're up at the top, there's a search bar. They can type in any word they want. They can type in nursing or truck driver or agriculture, whatever their interests are. We will display for them who the leaders in the industry are. We're going to show them the actual industry that it lands in. So for example, if they type in the word architecture, we're going to show them that that lands in the construction industry. Then we're going to show them the top posts, the top pages, and the top pros as it relates to the word architecture. So they're always learning from the best of the best and the experts in the industry as it relates to that career and that industry as a whole. We've also incorporated the Department of Labor information. So if a student is or a job seeker is totally lost on where they want to start, they can start by industry. For example, manufacturing. What are some entry-level positions in manufacturing? How do you move up to an intermediate, mid, advanced, or expert level position within manufacturing? And then we take it a step further and we connect them to the actual careers and colleges that offer the opportunities as it relates to those jobs. So Department of Labor information brought in. We have the wage ranges for each one of these positions. We have high wage, high skill, high demand, description, benefits, everything that you can expect at each one of those positions straight from the Department of Labor. And then we connect it to the real opportunities that are available. So why this is important for us as industry. So businesses and colleges have their own profiles. And as we were creating Career Pathway, we thought, okay, what do we want every job seeker and every student to know about our company? Well, it'd be pretty cool to show them through photos and videos, things such as get to know us, a day in the life, how to, advice, and others as it relates to our company. So they can get a real in-depth understanding of what it is that we do. It'd be also really nice to be able to showcase an about section that tells how big our team is, when we started, all of the things that we do in written format. And then through our partnership with LPED, City of Lincoln and Chamber of Commerce, we've added this Pathways tab. So this gives every college and every business the opportunity to add education pathways as well as career pathways. So TrueBuilt Construction, what is an entry-level position at TrueBuilt? Maybe it's a carpenter intern. How do you move up through TrueBuilt Construction into an entry level, from an entry level to an expert level position? So this gives a very robust profile for TrueBuilt Construction. If I get a job seeker that shows up at my door and says, hey, I've been following you on Career Pathway, I know that they've engaged in our content, they've gotten to know the team a little bit, they understand what we do, and they're ready to go. It's a real good connection tool for us to get qualified individuals headed to our front door. Why this is fun for the job seekers and the students is because as I'm adding content as TrueBuilt Construction, I'm tagging the photos and the videos as the industry that we're in and specifically the career that we're doing. So in the previous example, architecture lands within the construction industry. As these job seekers and these students are engaging in the content, they're building their own portfolio, which is where they follow the businesses and the colleges that they're interested in. And then my favorite part of the whole thing is a resume. So we give them a dialog box template for a resume. They get to add in all of their own information, but there's these icons that change dynamically as they're engaging in the content that clearly identify their career interests. So in this example, Emma has spent the most time in professional, scientific, and technical services, with construction being number 2. If she wants, she can go to her resume. She can click on the button that says construction. We show her in sequential order all of the careers that she's engaged in the construction industry. And if architecture is the top one, she can click on architecture, and we introduce her to all the architecture colleges and businesses that can help her get down that path. And then see who has the opportunities for scholarships and internships and job shadows and all of the things that she may want to sample the architecture industry as it relates to her moving forward down her path. Fun tool for educators and mentors. So think of that teacher in a class of 30 students. Now they can open up the profile for every single one of their students and see the career interests as it relates to every single student in the classroom. So Emma going into the construction industry and architecture, she can help Emma take that next step. Or educator can help somebody get into ag or welding or manufacturing, whatever that is, you can help very precisely guide that student down that next step. We're seeing a lot of traction with some of the mentoring groups like Junior Achievement and Lighthouse and the Bay and some others that have after school programs with these youth, and they want to have something meaningful for their youth to engage in these after school programs. So fun to see them incorporating this into their offerings with their students. So at some point in time, this workforce moves forward. So they're getting part-time jobs or full-time jobs or whatever that may be. So they can come in and set their own criteria in the apply tab. They can come down here and say, I want to be in the construction industry. I want to be in architecture. I want to live in Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm looking for a full-time job. With that criteria set, we will display the results for them. They can click on each one of the companies that has those positions available. And right here within Career Pathway, they can link to those opportunities via website or via email and make those connections. Me as industry, I'm sitting here in my inbox, I get an email saying, hey, Emma has sent you her resume. She's interested in your whatever position. And now that connection is made. Now it's up to the student and the business to formalize that in the form of a phone call, an email, or an in-person interview. Student privacy and safety. So we spent 20 months working with the education system to make sure that this was vetted out. They have profiles all over the place within Career Pathway, tried to break the system, tried to cheat the system. And after 20 months, we got the approval. We are in classrooms. LPS, we have Commissioner Maher is a big fan and supporter of ours. So we've done the due diligence and the safety on the student side of things if this is utilized as a tool in the classrooms. So from a pricing model, we're very passionate about the educators, the students, and the job seekers all having free access, free unlimited access. So they all get to come in and do their profiles and do all the stuff. As a matter of fact, businesses and colleges also have a free, pretty stripped down basic version if they want. For those of us that need to recruit talent, for $99 a month, we can have a premium profile that allows us to post all of our job opportunities. We can receive resumes. We can message back and forth with professionals and educators. We can add additional locations and really put ourselves out there as it relates to attracting as much of this workforce as possible. Option number 3 is a leader upgrade. And what this allows you to do is Be positioned at the top of all searches for your keywords. So as it relates to True Built Construction, if somebody types in the word construction in the search bar, I want my business and my logo being front and center. I can position myself accordingly for the words that I want so that I can really be top of mind, brand myself for this workforce group to hopefully come our direction. So pretty simple pricing model, very cheap in comparison to the Indeeds and everything else that we're all trying. But this is our introductory pricing, and we'll be going up as we add more features. So support, we started at the top. We wanted to make sure that we snuck in with permission from Commissioner Maher and Governor Pillen. So Commissioner Maher sums it up pretty well by saying careerpathway.com gives all of our students in every Nebraska school access to the same knowledge and opportunities. Kind of fun. Governor Pillen has asked how fast we can have this in the hands of every job seeker and every student across the state of Nebraska. So that's now our mission. And obviously you don't do this without great partners. Shauna and the Aksarben group has been a phenomenal partner along the way. We just pulled the old logo off and we're yet to put the new logo on coming soon. But Barrientos Scholarship Foundation out of Omaha, Tony and his team are doing awesome things. Great partnership with Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, LPED, and City of Lincoln. They're one of our big founding investment partners. We were partially funded initially by the state of Nebraska Department of Economic Development. Have been phenomenal to work with. Nebraska Department of Labor, Southeast Community College, SourceLink, Don't Panic Labs out of Lincoln is our software development team. American Job Center and Home Builders Association have all been phenomenal partners in helping us add content, make the connections, build the platform, and really get this out there. So very thankful for our partner group. A bunch of amazing people have gotten us to where we are, and it's just to the point of spreading the word at this point. So that's the end of the presentation, and I would open it up to any questions that anybody might have.
Fantastic. The one thing I love about this too, I say this every time, but it seems that the features that you're adding are so impressive. Like it's like you keep building it out. So it's just really exciting to see it evolve. Question from Terry. It says, Bo, do you have any K through 12 school districts that are joining as a business versus a school?
Terry, wonderful question. So City of Lincoln Public Schools has identified how neat it would be to raise their next generation of workforce. So they are in the process of creating their profiles. As a matter of fact, all 16 of the City of Lincoln's departments are adding profiles. So Lincoln Fire and Rescue, Lincoln Police Department, Parks and Rec, go down the list. All 16 of them, including Lincoln Public Schools, will be making an effort to hire their next generation through Career Pathway by teaching their students what it means to be in all of those positions. They have over 600 open positions at the City of Lincoln right now.
As a teacher, I really like this because I've never worked in the computer science industry or the tech industry. I went from college straight into education. And so trying to help prepare my students the best I can, I'm a bit limited because I don't have that business experience. So I have heard things from other people and I've interacted with some people, but I really like this. It shows the the pathways. It shows what the kind of education they need, because I keep having students say, is it worth a 2 or 4 year degree if we're going to go into tech? And it's like, well, for some jobs yes, but other jobs not necessarily. Like certifications could be good. So this is really great just from my point of view.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. What we're seeing is it's hard enough for us as in industry to keep up with all of the things that are changing in our own industry. It's impossible for you to. There's no way that you can keep up with 20 different industries and all the things that are happening. So this gives us as industry a resource to help to assist you and guide you as working with your students. But it also gives the opportunity for your students to go in and see, okay, if I go into this job, it pays $66,000 a year and I need a 2-year degree. They can very clearly map out their direction. They can see the colleges. There's on-the-job training opportunities, welding at Kawasaki. There's all kinds of neat things that every company and every school is going a different direction. So this puts it all in one place that's really easy to navigate.
Yeah, and I especially love this in the tech space because it changes so often. Like when I started off in tech, there were maybe I'm making this up because I'm dramatic sometimes, but there were maybe 4 different types of jobs. Now there are many, 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 many just different types of tech jobs that, like Kimberly said, require different skill sets, training, all that stuff. So yeah, I think the platform makes so much sense. You mentioned something about scholarships. So is there a way for students to connect to scholarships on the platform at this point?
So to your point of ever changing, we have a huge release coming out probably tomorrow or Friday.
Mhm.
As any new tech company does, you start with the concept, then you go to functionality, and then the last one is the user experience. So we just spent the last 5 months going through a user experience audit. And Don't Panic Labs will be releasing all of the stuff. Everything I just showed you in 2 days is outdated and blah, and I'm embarrassed to show it right now because I know what's coming. But part of that is we're adding all of the scholarship features in there. So
Okay.
in two
That's
days,
awesome.
yeah. So Aksarben will be able to put all their scholarships in there and home builders and all the groups. That way the students can type in the word scholarships and they spit out results.
That's really, really incredible. I love that. Okay, I had a follow-up question and I'm drawing a blank right now. It'll come back to me. Kimberly, what do you have?
Well, I was just thinking, I know in middle school, for our district, they do a decent bit of career exploration. Would there be a possibility of in the future adding, because I know COPA compliant, you can't have under 13 on the site, but would it be possible to have like um I don't know, some kind of account that doesn't have a login, but can still kind of look at the different information, but can't, reach out and contact people and, but could still get some of the information without logging in?
Exactly what we're seeing from some of the educators that want to use it in 5th and 6th grade setting is the teachers logging in and playing it
Mm.
on the monitors up in front of the classroom. So all the students are seeing the same thing, but through the teacher's profile.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they're pretty hardcore on 13. They don't want
Yes.
any students creating profiles under the age of 13. And I get it for all the right reasons. I've heard the stories, but yeah, so in time we may be able to work into something, but as of right now, it's not really on the radar just for all the COPA FERPA GDPR stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's fair. And if the teacher's driving it from the front of the classroom, they can decide what to show for now.
Yeah.
That makes
The other
sense.
neat thing is the teachers on their profile can add content as well. So if you have a neat trick or technique or something you've learned in the classroom that helps your students learn, you can put that content on the platform and help students all across the nation. We just hit our 32nd state today. So we have users on the
Hey.
platform from 32 states that are engaging in our content and learning about our businesses and our industries from us. So it's happening, it's spreading. This is my 6th Zoom call for today, just with all of the groups and the meetings that we're having. So we're just blowing up. It's fun, it's exciting, and it's due in part to everybody such as Shauna and the teams that are helping us push and promote this. So it's fun.
That's awesome. So you are technically, well, not technically, you are like a startup founder. You have an application that has a subscription, and that is exciting. So can you talk a little bit about what it is like to be, and I put myself in this box too, like a non-technical founder, but working with a technical team and building the software and just what that experience was like.
So I relate my experience to building software much like I run my construction company. I am not a plumber. I'm not an electrician. I'm not any of those things. I know how it goes together and I know who to contact. That's
Mhm.
exactly how I built careerpathway.com. I have never typed a line of code in my life. I don't know anything about running or building a website, but I made the connections and I hired the team that I wanted to work with and I employed them to build it. So
Mhm.
accounting, engineering from the software side of things, user experience, marketing, it's all outsourced teams, but I am the director of the ship, if you will.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think it's important for students to know too, like getting into this space, you can do this even as a non-technical person and build software with the team and build something that's incredibly impactful. And that you don't have to know how to code to be effective in the tech space. I call myself tech adjacent, and that's exactly where I want to live and stay.
Oh, funny story is when they want something to break, they hand it to me.
There you go.
That's my
You're like,
role.
Bo's gonna find it. He'll
Yep,
find.
pretty much.
That's great. Kimberly, any final questions for Bo?
No, I really love that it's free for the users or for like, just, a teenager is not necessarily going to be able to pay a monthly subscription. So that's, really just kind of shows that this is for the students and getting them educated and helping them find what they want to do and learn what they need to do in order to do what they want. I really appreciate that.
Well, if we get this next generation properly aligned in their interests and ultimately their education and their career, we all win. They're higher producing, they're working longer, they're contributing to their 401k sooner, they're buying houses sooner. They're doing all of the things that we wish they were doing at an earlier age if we can get them aligned properly. So that's our passion behind this whole thing. Yes, it does help the colleges and businesses tremendously, but we started with the job seekers and the student success to make sure that that was the foundation of everything that we did.
One more question from Terry, and thank you for that, Bo. He asks, is this web-based only or is there an app?
Education system requested that this be web-based only. They didn't want students downloading apps on Chromebooks and other devices to make it work. So it is a username and password access to a website.
That's great.
Good
Wonderful.
question,
Wonderful.
Terry.
Yep, and then it's
Yeah.
not tied to a device. It really makes it more inclusive and accessible as well. So I can go to the library, type it in, and if that's the only internet I have access to. So wonderful. This has been great as usual. It seems like I just need to schedule a webinar with you like once a month so I can stay up to date on what has been, what's new on careerpathway.com. But we appreciate you, Bo, and look forward to helping you get more people on the platform.
Greatly appreciate this opportunity. Great to meet you all. Thank you.
Great to
Thank
meet
you.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.